In Matthew 16 verse 6, the Bible says that Jesus told his disciples to take heed and beware of the leaven, that is the bread, of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Now, Jesus spoke in those ways. Many times Jesus sounded vague. So maybe they did not want to embarrass themselves. So they were whispering to themselves. And then they concluded, maybe because we forgot to carry bread, he's asking us when we go there and the Pharisees and Sadducees offer us bread, we should say no, like African children that are well brought up. But Jesus took offense. He said, "O ye of little faith." He rebuked them instantly. You suddenly think it's a problem that you forgot to carry bread. Have you forgotten the 5 loaves and 2 fish? Have you forgotten the 7 loaves and 2 fish? He says, why do you still doubt? Now, here's the thing. When God performed those miracles, he did not tell them that because he has performed this, they will not lack bread in future. He expected them to come up with that conclusion on their own. So, when they came to the same challenge and they responded the same way they were responding in the past, he was angry. The moment Jesus has solved a problem for you, he doesn't have to assure you about that thing again in your life. So let me bring it to your context. Here you are, anxious about your finances in 2026. Has there been a time in your life your back was against the wall, you didn't know where the school fees will come from, and suddenly, come on, are you listening to me? I said the faithfulness of God in the past is confidence for the future. Are you listening to me? All right. The things on my mind can be summarized with 3 scriptures. And so we're just going to start and go through those 3 scriptures, and you will understand what's in my spirit right now and what the Lord will have us meditate on right now. The 3 scriptures will be James chapter 4 from verse 13 to 14, Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 23, and Psalm chapter 20 verse 7. More often than not, my sermons, even if I don't say so, would like to first answer the question why. It's called justification of the study in research. And the reason that's important is because I think a wise man said, where the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse then becomes inevitable. So why are we here? Why do we celebrate watch night services? Is it because every other church is doing it? What should be our mentality? What should be our understanding? Because a lot of people don't get it. So James chapter 4 verse 13 to 14. Listen, I know that some of you have been in church all your lives and you have never seen this text. And I want you to know, I hate to admit it, is deliberate. Most charismatic Pentecostal churches deliberately avoid these texts because they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. It just rocks their boat, their theological boat, in a way that they cannot recover. Do you know what it says? It says, come now, come. That sounds Nigeria. Come now. You who say today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city, spend a year there, buy and sell and make profit. Now, he's referring to people who have brilliant plans because you've been taught in management science how to set goals. SMART. The S is for this. And now I do that. But now there is a spiritual caveat. It says, those of you who have plans for real estate, plans for marrying, plans for relocation, plans, everyone around the world is making plans. They have places where they've written things and pasted it at the different corners of their house. He says, well, come now, this is for you. Verse 14. He says, whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow. You don't know. Brave of you to just bring out some boards and write some things and set some goals and set timelines. I'm going to do this and make this profit and buy this house and do all of. He said, you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Listen, it takes humility to admit this. You don't know. And then it gets deeper, and I dare say scarier. He says, for what is your life? Listen, as important as your life is to you, when you zoom out and look at it from an eternal standpoint, even just looking at the cosmos and how small the whole planet Earth is from the scope of eternity, how much smaller you are. You're just a speck of dust. In fact, you are too small to be called a speck of dust in the scope of eternity. So he's asking you, what is your life? And then you know what he says? He says, it's like a vapor that appears for a little time and vanishes away. Those of you who have had to face the unfortunate circumstance of seeing someone who has died, especially someone who you knew when he was alive, that's when you realize how fickle life is. The first time I experienced it, I was but a child. And this was a family friend that we loved very much. And my parents got news, he's gone. And so we went there. And so I saw this man lying on the coffin, lifeless. His nose still looked the same. His eyes still looked the same. Everything about him looked the same. And of course, because of how our tradition is, he was well dressed in the coffin. I was so young, still in primary school. But that was the first time it dawned on me that what makes a person is not what we see on the outside. So that's why James, he says, your life is a vapor. Any other thing is just decaying. Your life is a vapor that appears for a while. Thank God for the hope and promise of long life, but it is still for a while. If it is 90 years, it is for a while. If it is 80 years, it is for a while. If it is 70 years, it is for a while. Are you listening to me? I know this is not the kind of sermon you came to listen to on a night like this, but I'm headed somewhere. You know what, James? Now, this, if it is some atheist, some agnostic telling you this, you know what to do with that information. But this is right there in your Bible. Now, let me ask you this. If you're going to be honest, how many of you have never seen these verses before? Wave at me. Let me see those of you who will be honest. Thank you for your honesty. So if it was someone who was agnostic who was telling you this, you rebuke him and you put him in his place. But it's right there. An apostle is telling you this. You know what that tells us? It tells you that there is no strategic way to know for sure that a coming year will be a good year. It is beyond mental assent. It is beyond the realm of strategy. It is beyond the realm of planning. It is beyond the realm of... See, so now this is what James now says. Look at verse 15. He tells you how you ought to approach this. He says, instead you ought to say, if the Lord wills. Listen to me. You are literally at the mercy of the Father's will. And so when we are talking about the reason why we have watch night service, it is a corporate admission of helplessness, except the Lord helps us. Are you listening to me? I said watch night services are a corporate admission of helplessness, that except the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord watches a city, watches your family, watches over your health, it is vain to stay up at night. It's vain. It's vain. And that leads me to the next verse, the next text I was going to read. Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 23. Everybody read together loud as you can. 1, 2, go. It's an exclamation. Oh Lord! I know that the way of man is not in himself. Listen to me. If you don't know this yet, you have not lived long enough. Thank God for planning, brilliant steps, brilliant. You see, there is a lot you can do to be responsible. There is a lot you can do within your power. The sovereign God has given you free will. Like, you know, I've told you that. Come on, are you with me? But if you've lived long enough, you connect the dots and see that this thing doesn't always add up exactly. You know, I was reading a story about a guy. He's a coach and a health enthusiast, gym rat, and all of that. Educating people about the right diet, fitness and all of that. And his mantra is literally like, if you want to live long, this is how to live your life. Now, he sleeps at 28, has a cardiac arrest, and doesn't wake up. I'm not trying to scare you. These things happen. Do you not know? It's not an affront to the power of God. It's just, I'm headed somewhere. And it looks like somehow there's a kind of dark humor there that sometimes it's the people who are most particular. There's a relative, I'm allowed to say this, there's a relative I love very much. And because he loves me, he will forgive me. But you see, during COVID, Naim careful pass. Monitoring everybody. Don't go to gatherings. What are you doing? He caught COVID twice. That's dark humor right there. It's not in man to direct himself. It is not in man who walks to direct his own steps. Do you believe in divine help? Trusting in the Lord is a strategy. I don't know about you, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to say there is no other name that I know, no other hope that I have. And that is why, as a believer who understands these things, your approach to planning and strategy is different. And that leads me to the third text, Psalm chapter 20, verse 7. This is what David says. This is his mentality. So now listen to me. Those who know the Lord, your planning and your strategy is now different. So he's making a differentiation from those who know the Lord and those who don't. Now he says some somewhere in some pockets of the earth. Believe it or not everybody is at watch night service. I told you this is a justification of the story. Why are we here? There are many people who are convinced that you are a fool just for being here. It says some trust in chariots. So their own approach to the new year, just brain, gumption. Gumption. In Canada, there was a lady. How do I describe this? Now, her body is constantly shaking visibly. She's been to the hospital. They've called it some names. But she has been in church long enough to know that there's something deeper happening. So she hears I'm around. And the protocol said, I'm busy. He's busy. She said, I'm not living here. I'm not living with this thing. I must be free today. So the person who went to tell her, I'm busy, came back and said, sir, she said she's not going home. So we called her up. Had 3 other pastors laid hands on her. She fell on the floor. She belched about 50 times. Now listen, vomited and got up perfectly fine. So instantly. So I don't mean it happened 1 hour later. I mean instantly. How do you explain that medically? So, some trust in chariots. Are you listening to me? And some in horses. It says, but we are explaining why we're here. for those who are asking you, what are you doing? Are you not wasting your time? There are other things to do. Rest, plan for the new year, and just imagine the things. Some trust in horses. Yeah, that's their strategy. Others in chariots. But we will remember. Listen to me. In case you don't know why we're here, we are here to remember. We are here to remember. And to say it is not our arm or our strength or our sword or our intelligence that has brought us this far. He that told you have helped us. I want to give you 10 seconds to tell that to the Lord. I remember